welcome to the 7th episode of Puck Witches, a vibes-based podcast where we yap about all things hockey. Today is November 2nd, 2024. I'm your host, Champ, and this is my partner in crime, Saint. Saint, how are you doing?
I'm here.
All right. As always, we have a lot to talk about this episode, but before we get started, we just want to thank everyone so much for their support. We really appreciate every single view, comment, like, and subscription, and we are here for a good time, not a long time, so let's get going with today's episode. Saint, we gotta talk about it.
We gotta talk about it. We actually do have a lot to talk about.
This week has been insane.
That's what my thoughts are for this week.
That's one way to put it nicely.
Yeah, politely is just me screaming incoherently.
This is fine dog in the burning room.
Yeah. This is not fine though. None of this has been
This
fine.
week sucked.
It sucked so hard. We're not talking about hockey, by the way. We're talking our lives.
Yeah.
Sucked so hard this week.
It was just one of those weeks, man.
Just endless. Just literally to the point where, like, every single day at work, we were all just like, why didn't we call out?
Yeah.
We should have called out today. Like,
we had the issue, for those of you who listen on YouTube, we, aka me, uploaded the wrong episode onto YouTube. Didn't find out until 2 days later. That was great. And that was
to Muffin for pointing that out, because so usually I do the
timestamps, yeah.
The timestamps the day after.
Yes.
Just because, and then we had hockey to watch, and I was late coming home because of a customer, and I don't want
because the week was shitty.
Because the week was shitty. I was home. I was late. Like by half an hour, and so then I come home, I take the dog for a walk, have dinner when we go watch hockey. And usually I do stuff in that in between time. Yeah. Didn't have time to do stuff, so I didn't notice because I didn't watch the episode. And usually I would watch the episode as soon as I get home.
Call me the fuck out. But it was just it was a cacophony of errors, and I think the most telling thing about this week is when I messaged you about that, you just burst out laughing.
Yeah, it was so far gone, and it was only Tuesday that I just laughed because I was like, yeah, of course this happened. Of course.
My car battery died. Everything. It was the longest week.
We should have had, like, at my job, OSHA should have been called on us 3 different times, and it wasn't. Oh, and a box of, like, merchandise almost fell on my head.
Again?
Like, I was on my lunch break. I walked down, like, our main aisle.
Yeah.
And as I didn't touch it, but, like, you know, I walked by the pallet and a bunch of shit fell. Like, I had to report it as what we call, like, a near miss, which is that you nearly got. And it was like, I was like, that was some kind of symbol from the universe, or like a signal from the universe of just like, hey, you know, it could be worse, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, and I kept telling my coworkers it could be worse, and they were like, no, it couldn't. Like,
and that was not even on top of the hockey shit, which then came. Don't worry, it was bad too.
Yeah.
So for again, people who don't know our teams, we are Oilers and Penguins fans. And this week has proven, we talked a little bit about it in the start of the season, that we were not excited for the injuries that we were receiving at the very beginning, even in preseason. It got worse. It got significantly worse.
My baby boy got.
How is he doing? Have we have any updates?
He's not, I think he's, hold on.
Is he week to week? Yeah, let's do research.
Injured, NHL report. NHL injury status. Columbus, Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid is out until the 14th.
Yep. That was my problem.
That was you. Pittsburgh Penguins. Rusty is my only injured reserve.
Okay.
He's estimated to come back the 5th, and it was an undisclosed lower body injury.
He had just come back from an injury too.
Yes, he did. We came back and we were like, oh, I can't remember, but like, oh, and Celebrini's still out with that lower body injury.
He's working it though. He's coming back.
Yeah.
But Rusty is injured on your team, and then obviously the biggest news of the week for, I would say, the hockey for at least the Oiler world was that Connor McDavid was tripped and went,
who's to say
it was not called. and went straight into the boards.
I used to call that too.
Went straight into the boards and tweaked his ankle. It's some sort of ankle injury. Off in the first shift of the game. So
yeah, and then it was just
then
like,
it was a massive blowout. And
like,
I was just waking up to this news, and poor Saint said, "What happened to Connor?" And then
I was watching
radio silent for like 10 minutes.
Because usually we split coverage, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of times our games are on at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's like I always watch the Pens, she always watches the Oilers, and
Yeah.
we'll like update each other. And this time I was watching the Oilers, and I thought Champ was watching the Oilers too.
Because it was
and
Monday.
She wasn't. And then I was like, oh, she must be watching, and she wasn't. And then I was like, oh, she must not be because she's not like responding to my messages. I looked away for like 2 seconds to check social media, and then it was like, oh, Connor McDavid will not be returning. And I was like, what the fuck happened to Connor? Like,
yeah.
I missed, because usually it's like there was a whistle, a penalty, a scrum, nothing.
Yeah.
Fuck all. So,
just not great news to wake up to, especially when that is your captain. Oh, captain, my captain. Not having a great time with that. And then we got blown out by the Columbus Blues Jackets. 6-0. No, sorry, excuse me, 6-1. They scored at the very last second.
Like literally stole their shit
thank you,
at the
Ekholm.
last fucking second. God bless you, Matthias Ekholm.
Not great. And then yeah, it's just the week started off very badly. That's not even like our teams aren't the only two that are dealing with injuries. The Avalanche, what the hell is going on with them?
We did tier list, guys, and I'm not an Avs fan. I'm sorry in advance. I'm just not an Avs fan. I'm not.
Which is funny because we have a friend who lives in Colorado who
does not care about hockey, by the way, at all.
But it should be. I think that would be her team if she was there. I don't care.
Like, what the fuck is happening? They've lost what, six of their forwards?
Thought it was 8.
Yeah, and then something else happened too. Like
so they are a team of glass bones.
Yes. Paper skin,
glass bones, and it's always like because I'd be on Twitter scrolling through it and going, "What is going on with the Avs?" And it'd be like another forward has been taken back to the down the tunnel, and you're like, "Oh, okay." And then I saw the graphic of them like crossing out the names of the teams. They had to like pull up somebody from 4th line to 1st line. I mean, I was like, it's bad when they won in 2022, I think 2021. So they're a recent winner. So I was just sitting there like going,
the downfall was swift in terms of like injuries. You know what I mean? Like also, they were contenders last year. They made the playoffs. They destroyed the Jets. Like,
was that the game where they injured somebody? Like
sliced his hand.
Yep, that was a Jets player though. I think
it was. So it was because I remember distinctly going, it's not. I don't want to say the injury was deserved, but it was one of those scenarios where you kind of just go like, okay, that was, the hockey gods going,
chill,
keep fucking blood sacrifice, basically. They lost the game. They were like, there was no coming back. It was a complete like just massacre, and they start like a brawl.
Yeah.
And the Jets player kind of, if I recall, got his ass beat a little bit. Yeah. Who's just to be fair, most hockey fights are kind of like you both got your asses beat. It's a fight.
But this one he was on the ground, like
he was on the ground and his hand got sliced, and we were looking at it because we're very like unbothered people overall. Like injuries.
As much as we hate them,
they don't bother me to look at. Like, I just kind of go, ooh, a little wince, but it's not like. But anyways, we looked at that and I went, oh my god, if that skate is
gone
like
closer to his actual
fraction of an inch lower, he has like his hand is fucked.
Yeah,
like because all of those tendons, man, our hands are very fragile. Like. That's why you wear, like, the gloves protect them, you know what I mean? So when you don't have gloves because you were in a fight, I think it was his own player, too. Like, it was another Jet. It wasn't an Avs. I don't remember.
But it's just one of those things where you're like, because you think that having one one player on your team, like Rusty.
Yeah, like Rusty being out has thrown it, not for the worst, I want to say, because Rusty is a key player, but like
it's changed the mindset.
It has changed the mindset, and the forced line switch has actually been kind of okay for us.
Yeah.
I don't dare to say anything good about the Pens right now, because the hockey gods will get me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so for Connor to be out and then Dry, fuck it, the whole team rallied.
Yes.
In the next game, fucking mayor of Nashville. For that to happen, and then to imagine the Avs, just like all of your tops except for a handful are gone.
I think
like
Nate is
what
fine.
do you do?
I think Kale is fine.
Yeah, those two are good.
So you're like, okay, these are two of the best players in the world, but you have to. It's not, again, this is not just a solo player sport. It's a team sport.
Yeah, and it shows. Like it's one of those things where it's a team sport.
Rough. So Avs fans, man, I don't like your team. I have no strong opinion about you, but sucks to suck.
Yeah, like,
yes.
And
I feel bad for when you're like going into the season and you're so hopeful, and then October like kicks you down, because they've had a rough start to the season too.
Yeah, it's not just because that's what was so shocking is we came in and it's like, yeah, they didn't make it to the conference final, but like they got to the second round of the playoffs. Like,
yeah, because it was going to be, if we had lost to the Canucks, it would have been the Canucks versus the Avs, because instead it was the Oilers versus the Stars.
Yeah, but like, I mean, they were
doing good.
They were recent Cup champions. Yep. Like, I do genuinely hope. Speaking of injuries, because we can segue into that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if everybody else feels this way, but it feels kind of like old school hockey is back.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for it not being enforcer era, right? Like, it used to be you had enforcers, and their whole job was to show the fuck up and beat the shit out of a guy. Can he play hockey to an NHL level? No, absolutely not. He can hold his own enough that they can justify paying him a salary, but he gets, they're there to beat wholesale.
Yeah.
That's their job.
Instigators,
but a lot of
too.
fights. Yeah, and instigators, and they take in the hits, which is to me really, this is like a double discussion, but they're gonna put Rempe into an early grave. I think the Rangers management should be like
much more concerned than they are.
Like, they're literally like, hey kid, he can't even fight that well. Like, I'm not even being mean. He's a kid. Like, I to me personally, I have no ill will, or like, I do not, as someone who hates the Rangers, I don't dislike Rempe. I think his relationship with Quick's son is really, really cute.
Yeah.
Like, and I think he's a kid. He's a kid playing hockey in the NHL, and so I wish nothing but the best for him.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to kill this kid. They are literally taking years off of his life by having him get his ass whooped.
And they had sent him down this week, and then immediately recalled him.
Him back up for a fight.
Like, immediately recalled him.
Yeah. Why not? And what is he learning? Because that's my thing, is like, that people are like, well, he can't skate. He's not a great player. And I'm like, but how is he supposed to get better if you're giving him bottom line minutes?
The only reason that he is on that team is to punch people or get punched.
Yeah, and he's not playing hockey. He's just there to like be in fights or to like be, he's an old school enforcer, except he's not able to enforce because he's a kid. Like, it doesn't matter if you're 6'7" if you don't know how to fight. Like, I don't think he dislikes it, but like, wouldn't he be better served, racking up points in the AHL and like learning
Has he
how
scored
to play?
Any points?
I don't even know. Has he even had the chance? You know what I mean?
Clue.
Like, has he even had the chance to, like, it's sort of like that thing where you're counting them out before you even give them a shot.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they're giving the kid many shifts, I guess. I don't follow the Rangers particularly closely.
Why?
But
Saint?
It's just because fuck them. And then, so to that, because it is almost a little bit ironic. It's ironic, right?
Yeah.
So they just bring Rempe up to fight. And to then, like, the next day, it's like, by the way,
the CTE. Yeah.
We care about it now. Like, we care. And I'm glad that it's finally being addressed, because
especially
I think
in hockey, like, you hear all of these. As somebody who does not really follow other sports, you know that football is obviously the big one. Yeah. Rugby is another one. Like, this stuff is serious. But then I was watching a video today from Sportsnet where it was like, UFC fighters reacting to Oilers fights. And the
I just saw
UFC
that.
fighters were like, dude, like, I can't imagine. Like, these are hard hits. And that goes back to, like, you and I are, again, we love watching the fights. I understand.
Like,
that is a part of hockey culture. Yes.
Fucking fantastic. Because you know what he did? He cold cocked him in the face.
Yep.
Beautiful. Love it. Just, almost broke his nose. And then when
the minute he went down, he helps.
He had him by the jersey, and he had him to protect his head, keep him up from slamming his head against the ice.
This kid's 23.
Because it's. Yeah, you never want. I want to break your nose. I don't want to break your skull.
Yes.
Like that to me, it should always be a fight.
Yeah.
Like you're here to make them go down the tunnel with some tissues in their nose, not to send them to the hospital ever.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can't. I understand that you can't, like, oh well, that's part of hockey's culture. You should just let them fight. But you can't
and
have
even the
kids trying to kill each other.
Yeah, like we've talked about this before on the podcast overall, but just like. I think that anyone who's looked into the medicine side of this, like looked into the research that's been done on this, and it's like basically there's these things that are kind of like micro concussions.
Yeah.
That like it's sort of like how you get repetitive stress injuries.
Yeah.
It's not a big. It's a reoccurring thing in life. It's not that you got one bad hit. It's that you got 50 kind of bad hits over the course of a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every hit hockey players take, every single one, rattles their brains.
Yep.
Because our brains are just jelly in a skull with liquid protecting it. And every time you get it hit too hard, the brain gets a little jiggled. And a concussion is just,
too hard of a jiggle.
Too hard of a jiggle. And the other thing is that what worries me about a lot of these is that it's not usually the first hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's the second. Like, that's what we learned with Sid, was he got hit, and then he got really hit.
Yeah.
And it was way worse than it probably would have been had he not gotten hit the first time. Like in rapid succession, essentially. Like, not given enough time to heal. Like, so there was a hit in the Sabres versus Islanders game last night.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a clean hit. It legitimately, I encourage people to go look at the hit. It was Greenway and, what's his face? Riley, yeah. Mike Riley, I think?
Yeah.
The kid, I watched the clip, and you can decide for yourself if it's a clean hit. I think it was. I think it was just, as someone in the comments put it, he was going southbound in a northbound lane. It's just two opposite
it's the same thing
forces colliding.
It's the same thing if you remember back, I don't know what year it was. It was when Jake Gunsel was on the Pens, and he was trying to get a puck, and another player was trying to check him, and it hit wrong. Jake hit the ice and got rattled. There's sometimes where you're on skates on ice. You can't necessarily control every hit.
Yeah, there's physics at play here, which is what I think the Greenway hit was.
Yeah.
They hit two opposite players trying to, like, coming down, and they just...
It just hit wrong.
He hit, and some people were trying to say it was a slew foot. I don't think so. It just didn't. And I'm not a Sabres defender by any means. I'm slightly fond of them. They're the only team in New York that I can stand, which is funny because I'm a New Yorker. But I hate the Rags, and I dislike the Islanders heavily.
Yeah.
So this is not me being biased because I actually don't care about the Islanders. Like, I don't. It's not like, oh, I root for your down. I just don't care about you. So he was solid. And Riley wasn't.
Yeah.
That to me it was physics. They crashed into each other. It was shoulder to shoulder. For Scherzies, like, it truly did not look like any.
It didn't look like that one hit again with the Avalanche, where the dude freaking left his feet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was brutal. But the kid, the Islander, that Riley, he fell headfirst.
Yeah. It just like
that was it. It was he fell headfirst, and ice is ice. It fucking hurts. Like, there's just, I assume he has a concussion. I would actually be very shocked if he didn't.
If he was out for that long, because he was out for a minute.
It was not like, because we've seen it where guys, it's like, they don't know what state they're in, but they're like
awake. Yeah.
This kid was not moving.
If he was out for that long, then that's probably a concussion.
If you have, so this is what some people don't like to hear. If you have lost consciousness for any period of time, whether it is 1 second, 10, or a minute, you have a concussion. That is brain damage. You have taken brain damage.
From a hit.
There is no
clarification.
From a hit.
From a hit, not from...
from a hit.
not just random.
No, passing out is a bunch of other... But a loss of consciousness from impact is a concussion.
It's your brain shutting down so that it doesn't get any more hurt.
Yeah, it is. You have gotten brain damage.
Yeah.
To what degree? Up for debate.
Yeah.
But like, that is just a fact of... There is no such thing as like, oh, but I was only unconscious for 2 seconds. You were still unconscious. You have a concussion. Like, there is no, you have a concussion. We need to... and then it was scary because I truly don't know what happened in this game other than that hit, but I guess the trainer was dealing with someone else. And then, so the trainer for the Islanders he had to come running from like the locker room or like down the hall. And then the Sabres guy had to come
onto the ice
and help. Yeah, the Sabres medicinal team. But they were like, he walked under his own power.
Good.
And by that, I mean, his teammates were holding him up. He was not, I think
it wasn't stretcher. He didn't need a stretcher.
Yeah, he should have been on a stretcher.
Yep.
I'm gonna put that out there. I think that was either him needing to collect himself or what, but he should have been on a stretcher. He should not have been walking under his own power. I think it might be like the Malarchuk thing or something, but like whatever. I wish him a speedy recovery. I hope he's okay. I hope it was not. I hope it was just that he got his cage rattled and he just needed a minute to recover. Yeah. But he probably has a concussion to some degree.
Speaking of scary teams, what the hell is going on with the Senators, the Sens?
Oh, you mean the fact that I'm always right? Guys, what did I say? Guys, what did I say at the start of the season?
Yep. You did call it. You did call it and said that the Senators were going to be a scary team this year.
I did. I was like, guys, I think people are really underestimating the Senators. I think that they're underestimating the Ully trade. I think that they're underestimating the players that they've accomplished. And it's not like I truly think that they are a lot better than they were last year. There's a lot more, they're a little bit more disciplined, I would say, in the few clips I've seen of them. They're getting it.
Who were they playing that they got 8 points? Was it the Blues?
Oh my God.
I think it was the Blues this week that they had. It's their second 8-point game season.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's killing. It's their second 8-point game.
Yeah.
And
it's October. No, not November, but you know what I mean.
We're not even, it was at the time, we're not even a month into hockey.
Yeah.
Like a true month of like 30 days of hockey. We're not there yet.
No, it'll be next week.
What the fuck?
And the Senators, like, they're one of the teams where they're a sleeper team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how they, if they get to playoffs, how they will handle it.
Yeah, because as we know,
I don't think
other teams...
have they been in the playoffs in the past couple of years?
Let's see.
Because maybe as a wild card, because they're looking now. Thankfully, this week the Jets finally lost. Thank God. But they're up there in the standings. They're doing really well. And did you see that Jordan Bennington on the Blues?
They last made the playoffs in 2017.
Oh God. When did they get Brady?
They, I couldn't tell you. Yeah, so they haven't made playoffs since. They got to the conference finals and lost. But they haven't made since.
Playoffs or Stanley Cup?
Playoffs.
Okay.
They have not made playoffs since 2017. They got to the conference finals in 2017. And since then, they haven't made playoffs.
Got it.
He's a baby!
Yeah, he's little.
I knew Matthew Tkachuk was the older brother.
Yeah.
I thought he was. I don't know why I thought he was like.
No, because
I guess Matthew Tkachuk isn't that old either.
No.
But so he's a Senators. He started.
Yeah.
He was drafted in 2018.
Okay, so yeah, like this, it's not built the team around him. It's not like they've done it with Connor and Leon.
Yeah, but he is.
Barkov and Matt Ratty. But he's still like
he's a Sen lifer.
Yeah, like this is
like going
successfully building. We've finally gotten to the point where he's like getting his feet under him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I at first I don't want to say hated the Sens, but I have friends who hated the Sens, and I don't. Now that Ully's on the team, I can't hate them as much as I used to. And I'm a hater at my core, guys. Yeah. We did the tier list, and I hate a lot of teams. Oh
my God.
We won't get into that, but I really am a hater.
They're having it was really interesting because seeing that Blues game I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did watch some of it, which was the Blues were getting frustrated, you could tell. And then that's what was causing like so many line brawls. But I'm here to say, and I know we just talked about how fights are, you know, if you're going to fight, be smart about it, but let the goalies fucking fight. Please.
Let the goalies fucking fight.
Please let the goalies fight.
What a bitch-ass little fight. Let the fact that we, to this day, did not get Marc-Andre Fleury beating wholesale ass on Jordan Binnington is something I will never forgive. Like,
I want Ollie to take his mask.
I want, because I think, so obviously Swayman wants to smoke always, forever and always. But I think people forget that Ollie is a beast.
Just
you know what
that,
I mean?
Yeah.
He's a little subtler about it, but the man's is not gonna.
I was laughing.
How tall is he?
He's up there. 6'2"?
Oh, he's my age. He's 6'4".
Okay, yeah, he's up there.
And then how tall is
Binnington?
Sway
is
6'2".
Yeah.
You see,
okay,
you
so
were getting the mix up. And then Jordan Binnington is. I can't believe I'm gonna have his
bitch little
name in my goddamn searcher at 6'2".
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
All I'm saying.
Oh, and him and Ollie are the same age, so really that was a fair matchup.
Yeah.
I do think it was funny that he was trying to ask Ollie to fight, but was skating to the bench.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, if you're gonna do it, commit.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to see them. I want to see them throw hands, and I know Ollie is like, I'll take you out, dude.
He will. I truly think. He's a man that talks and has no game. You know what I mean?
Binnington
in terms of
or
the fights.
Ollie?
Yeah, Binning.
Yeah.
Binny, throw him in the Binnington. Like, I can't. I hate him so much.
Hater at your core.
Yeah, hater at my core, guys.
But another team that is having a really successful week. I mean, we all saw this coming. I have always said that I'm the biggest Sharks fan in the world. And when they go to the Stanley Cup final and win this year, I will be there with my New Jersey. This is total bullshit, but they're on a winning streak.
I've always, as the Pens robbed the Sharks of their first cup. Mm-hmm. And so I understand a lot of Sharks fans really hate the Pens and they hate Sid Crosby because of it. Because I'm an American, I love underdogs.
Yeah,
I love losers.
That's so true.
Are you a loser? I love you.
Yep.
I want you to keep being a loser, but I want you to also
be successful.
Like I am truly always not against. The only teams that I don't want the Sharks to win against are the Oilers and the Pens.
Yeah.
And the Bruins, I guess. But like even then, normally I would be like, oh yeah, it'd be funny. But the Bruins are also bottom of the league this year. So those three. No, sorry guys, I'm watching the Pens game. Alex Nedeljkovic, I love you so much. What do you want? What do you want for that save that just happened? Can I buy you dinner? Are you free Thursday?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so to see the Sharks actually finally get a win under their belt. Not just one win, but three. And are now on a streak.
They're on a streak. Aren't they on the longest streak in the Western Conference?
Yes, they are. Because Dallas
active
lost.
Streak, I should say, not longest, but active longest.
I'm just super happy for them because I don't know if you caught this, Saint. You may have. Unfortunate images that precede unfortunate events. Hockey was they had a Sharks image that was up ahead of time before they won. Yeah. And then they got swept, and then the poor admin on the Sharks social media team, which as a social media manager, like I'm sitting here going, that poor admin, I know the struggle. Put under the image, please take this down. People are seeing it. And then after they put that up, the Sharks have won now 3 in a row, and they're playing the Canucks next. So for 100% certain, I am rooting for the Sharks.
Oh yeah, 10,000.
I love that I'm proud of you, Sharks. You're not my team. You won't be my team, but I'll root for you.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you. Like on the tier list, I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
I'm just rooting for you. God, that's so funny. Because the Sharks was it the Sharks that had the best comeback of all time?
Yes. Oh my God. That one game. It was they were in playoffs and I think it was a game 7, and it was one of those where they were like super struggling, and then one of their main players got hurt. I think it was their captain, and they scored like 4 or 5 times. 4 times in like maybe 5 minutes. And
was it against Flower too? And I think that was the only thing that made me sad. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm like watching it right now. It was
But wasn't Flower on Vegas? If it was against Vegas,
yeah, it
then
was
fuck
Flower
it.
Vegas. Yeah, fuck Vegas. So it was Pavs.
Yes.
Pavelski.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't a. If I remember correctly, it wasn't a bad. Was it a bad? Oh yeah, no, wait. I'm watching it right now, guys. I'm literally watching it. They threw off the face-off and fucking threw Pavs to the ground, and he fell ass over tea kettle backwards and did not move.
Yeah.
I think because he hit his head.
Again, guys, you're on ice skates. Please protect your heads.
Oh no, this was a hold on. They zoomed in on it. He got fucking hit, like cross-checked, like right to the chest with the stick. And then another of the Vegas Knights tripped him with his knee by accident because he got cross-checked into the Knight, and his knee was bent because he was skating forward, and Pav's back hit it and just went. So Pavs went down to the dressing room. There's 10 minutes and 44 seconds left in the third.
Yeah.
And it was 4 goals, I believe.
Yeah. And
I'm speaking 4 goals in 3 minutes.
Yes.
3 goals in 3 minutes.
Yep.
And the 4th goal, 4 goals in 4 minutes, basically.
And I remember there's one top comment on YouTube about that, which is like, can you imagine being Pavelski and hearing
the horn going
like that crazy? I would have been like, what do I just gotta get hurt more often? It's the same thing that happened with Connor. Like Leon came in ready to win. Like that was what, Thursday's game? Sometimes when you're one of your teammates goes down, it's like, oh, finally we have it in us to rally. Yeah,
because that's like, it just sometimes you crumble.
Yep.
Because, and then other times they just get vicious.
Yeah.
You know?
See, okay, that would be me.
that would be us.
Yeah.
We.
It's like, oh, you hurt this? Okay, spite time.
I hate seeing Flower sad, but they did, and then the Sharks won in overtime.
Yes.
To tie the series, or they won the series, for the first round.
And then it went to the Pens.
Was that the 2017?
I think so.
Yeah,
we can do math.
Apparently. By the way, when we came into hockey really late, guys. And
we know.
We were like, tee hee hee, the Sharks. And then someone who was into hockey had to be like, guys, you don't understand. The Sharks used to be scary. And I was like, are you kidding? And they were like, yeah, no, the Sharks used to be like they almost won the cup.
I think that was my dad.
It was your dad.
Yeah.
It was your dad who was like, no. They almost like, no.
We used to be fearing them, and we're like, but nah. They're the laughing stocks. R.I.P. Sharks. We love you. We want you to win.
Yeah.
But we also know what you're made about.
I can't wait to see McAlee Celebrini hoist the cup in 8 years.
God.
Like 10 years.
Speaking of teams that are struggling this season, Saint, you have performed some witchcraft this week.
Guys, I don't want to take credit for things.
This one is also like a tie between us, by the way.
Yeah. So we've talked about this, obviously, that like I will things into existence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's because I'm a witch, but it's also because as a witch, I'm an apostle of the hockey gods. I said that on the podcast. And then it became real. Like it was a bit, and then the hockey gods heard me and said, bet. Yep. Because I sat here and it's Halloween, and I love Halloween, guys. I'm dressed as a witch. Because I am a witch.
I was gonna say, you're not really dressed as anything. You put on a hat.
Yeah, I know. I put on a hat, guys. That's really all I did. And Champ's like, we gotta do
new moon ritual.
New moon rituals, and it's Halloween. We gotta. And I was like, okay, but I'm a vibe switch. I don't fuck it, whatever. And she's like, you gotta. I was like, how do I do this? She goes, you gotta get a candle.
Yep.
So I grab the Dead by Daylight entity offering, or offerings to the entity candle that I got on Etsy. That smells delicious. And she's like, you gotta light it, will your intentions, and then blow the candle out.
Yep.
And then that's supposed to be for the month.
Yeah.
I think a month is a long time. So I was like, hey, the next 2 weeks sounds cool. And I very distinctly in my brain went, I just want Sidney Crosby to be happy. I want Gino Malkin to be happy. And I want to make some money this month. That is what I wished for, guys. I blew out the candle. And then what?
Not even 30 seconds. It was like 15.
It was like, because it was the third period.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, I got to do this now, or it's now or never. And Sid scores and ties the game so that we can bring it to overtime. And then he scores the game-winning goal in overtime.
All I'm saying is he looked pretty happy.
He looked pretty happy. He really, really did.
I love hockey.
But it's the Sid stash too. Don't get it twisted. It's the Sid stash. But like, I feel like I helped. I feel like I lost my voice for like. I didn't lose it. I woke up the next day, and my coworker was like, "Are you good? Like your voice is a little
shot,
like rough." And I was like, I screamed so fucking loud
over a game.
It's like game less than 20 in the regular. We were still legally in October. Like, what? So I haven't made any extra money. But
it's for the month.
It's for the month. Okay. Gino, you're up next, buddy.
Yep.
And someone order off of my Etsy so I can get money.
Speaking of Etsy, Saint, do we have a sponsor today?
You know what, champ? It was a really good segue.
Yeah.
We do have a sponsor. Today's sponsor is Saint Astra, a Twitch streamer, cosplayer, and artist. You can support her by purchasing from her Etsy or subscribing on twitch.tv/Saint Astra. Use your free Prime sub and get access to cute little emotes. Saint Astra's Etsy also sells a variety of jewelry, decorations, and trinkets. Everything is handmade and crafted with the perfect balance of love and spite. All proceeds go directly to the Saint Astra Dry Settle Jersey Fund.
This week we saw something really, really tragic happen at the Pens Stadium rink this week. Sad and nostalgic. Saint, how are you handling it after Marc-Andre Fleury's last time in Pittsburgh?
I want you all to know that I held it together.
You managed.
For that whole fucking game. And then they said the words, first star.
Oh.
And the camera went to Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yep.
And I choked. And I was like, hold it together, hold it together. And then I saw Tanger and Sid and just started bawling.
Yeah.
Like, actually, and I'm a new fan, right? Like,
yeah.
I never got to see Flower in the net for Pittsburgh other than in reels. So it's like, it's just, and I still cried. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just, I can't imagine how anyone felt because he was the core four. It was the core four.
So this week we had the it was his last game at the Pens barn, and Pittsburgh went all out, which they should have. He very much deserves it.
They love him.
Yeah,
in Pittsburgh, they really do.
And so again, the Pens are my East Coast team, is what I've come to call them.
Yeah.
And so like I know the lore because my dad has been a lifelong Pens fan. And so I knew the importance of Flower. And so on Tuesday I went saying I will watch this game with you, which normally we don't watch random games. We do together most of the time. There are times unless something
crazy's going on. Yeah, we'll call it. I'll be like, "Champ, pick up your fucking like, I need to experience this with you."
Yeah, but like random games, more often than not, no, because we just don't have time to watch every single game. And you know, life happens. But this one, I was like, I have to take time out of my daily schedule to watch this with Saint because I'm not sure she's going to be able to handle it by herself. And you did.
I wasn't
really well. We were emotional through like the start of the game because Flower was emotional.
Flower started crying, and he's God's strongest little soldier.
Yeah.
He is an emotional guy overall. Like, you know, everybody's like, yeah, he's an emotional guy. I would have been full on crying.
Yeah.
Like, I think I could have held it together. And I joked that I was like, is our strategy to make Flower cry so that he can't see the puck?
They've gotten 2 goals in the first
Yeah, I legitimately think it was because Flower was so emotional.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
It was just because we've been playing like shit lately. We're playing pretty good. We played good on Halloween. We're playing okay today.
Yeah, it was one of those things where you managed a lot better than I thought you would. And then
I was also upset about us losing, but I also was torn. We scored on Flower, and I went, "Yay! Oh no!
Yeah!
Yay! Oh no!" Like every fucking time. And then they scored, and I was like, "Oh no! Oh, but I don't want Flower to lose." Like it was such a Pens
because it was the baby.
thing.
The baby was in the net. Blama.
Yeah, and I said, "Do you think Flower sees himself?"
Stop it!
Staring down. Don't worry, everyone on social media that is in my circle strangled me through the air because I was like, guys, do you think that like Flower sees himself?
Yeah, he does.
And, like he's staring at a past version of himself down the rink. Do you think, like that is what he's doing? And everybody was like, you can go right to hell.
I mean, they're not wrong.
One of my friends, she goes, say what you said. Why?
But so that I was doing okay. Again, it's an outlier for me. I was not part of the I know the core four because I know you and my dad. You know, that was your team.
Yeah.
And I was doing fine until I heard you cry. And then I was like, oh, Saint does not cry. Like, you've been in my wedding. Did you cry for my wedding? Like, that's how serious.
Yes, I did.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I did cry for your wedding. I cried.
Like, that's how serious this is.
I remember very distinctly at your wedding sniffing, and being like, I can hold it together. Yeah. And then I was looking. Rookie mistake, guys. Yeah. If you're in a wedding, don't look at the crowd. I looked at the crowd and saw your dad crying, and I just burst into tears and had to like, I'm fine. Like it was so, we were all crying.
Yeah.
At your wedding,
but like imagine, like, that's the last time I think I've heard you actually cry.
Yeah, I like tear up joking. Like if I watch like
you get emotional.
You know, I'll like you know, you tear up a little bit, like for a second or two, you know, you'll watch something and you're just like, oh, I watch this. Hold on, who's chopping onions? Like, you know, a little tear up. Actual physical crying, I do not do often, and let alone over fucking hockey. Like,
yeah. So
Flower, you deserve it.
You did deserve it, and he got some really. You're gonna have to do this one because the numerology.
Yes.
Because that was freaking insane.
It was. 29 is Flower's number.
Yes.
And it was, hold on.
He got 29 shots on goal.
Yes, it was 29 shots on goal. It was the 29th of October.
Yep.
It was the 429th time that a regular season or playoff game in Pittsburgh will start with number 29 guarding one of the nets.
It's just insane. Like,
yeah. This is a hockey, like, this is what my fucking team does all the goddamn time. All the
you can't write narratives like that.
Yeah, like the Pens games are so narrative that like when my teams like when friends who like other teams watch my games, they go, "Oh, yeah, oh, I get it now."
It's the same thing for the 500. You're like, "Hello?"
Yeah, of course it was, you know, Sid assisting on Gino's 500 solo and Gino assisting on Sid's 500 solo. You know what it's just. And numerology is pretty prevalent in hockey. Yeah. But, like, it is particularly prevalent with the Pens. 29 shots on the 29th.
429.
He's number 29 guarding one of the nets. And it was the 429th time in Pittsburgh that a 29 was a goalie in one of the nets. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. And just fucking wild. Because, you know, it's not like they can plan it. You know, like, they could plan the 29th, like, oh yeah, guys, let's do I think it'd be cute. That they can plan. The 29 shots on goal, you can't plan that. The 429th time of a start, you can't plan that. No. Like, it's just
not that many, you know what I mean?
No, like you get to maybe pick one, not all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Really impressive. And again, Marc-Andre Fleury, you deserve all of the love. I hope he signs that one-day contract with the Pens.
If he doesn't, I will cry harder.
Because they're retiring. They're retiring his jersey for the Pens, aren't they? Or his number.
I assume they are.
I think they are.
Don't. It's one of those things where it's like it isn't done often, and I just don't know. I have to assume they will, but like, did they retire Yager's?
Yes, they did.
Okay, but did they retire it right after? Like,
no,
usually, sometimes they take
years.
time. Yeah, because he came up and then divorced dad art came out.
Yeah,
Like
last year.
reconciled.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Again, Marc-Andre Fleury, come home to the Penguins, and then they can retire your number for one day, and then we'll be happy.
Yes.
Really happy to see that I got to participate, even though it's not my team.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I truly think that like he's
one of them.
He is like he's
and that
a great.
City loves him.
They do, and they should. Like I've seen some shit about like he's not as good of a goalie. You know, he went through. I think everybody can fuck off. I think
he's a vibes guy.
He's a vibes guy. His pranks are hysterical. Oh my god, that video of who pranked him?
Oh no,
Talbot.
Oh
yeah, Max Talbot. It fucking pranked him.
Max, you better watch your back.
Flower and like obviously they played together. Like he knows Flower, but Marc-Andre Fleury looks at the camera, tells the cameraman to point to Talbot, point out that he is going to get him. He's like that man. I felt scared, and I'm not Talbot. Like I would be locking. Did he not see what happened last year? Who was it, Dutchy?
Yep.
Like, come on. Like,
watch your back, Talbot.
Well, and they're like, he's like, you're coming to my turn.
Yep.
Like.
So Sports Equinox put out a predicting the next 5 championships, and you and I have no clue about any other sport other than the fact that the Dodgers won this year.
I know periphery. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I know like, oh, this team is right now okay.
Yep.
You know, or like I know this team is kind of
decent,
not bad,
but not for baseball and not for NBA.
I know a touch for baseball.
I have no clue.
Nothing on NBA whatsoever.
But the picture decided to go ahead and pick the next 5 championships for the NHL, and I have some questions.
A lot of questions. I have a lot of. First of all, how dare you?
How dare you? You know, yeah, fuck that.
2025, the Leafs.
All I'm saying is if the Maple Leafs are Canada's first team to win in 30 years, I will take a gun to John Tavares' amulet.
Because I can't fathom how... So here's the thing, guys. Again, I don't hate the Leafs that much. I think it's funny. I like when they lose when it's funny.
Yes. Sorry, Leafs fans.
A commitment to the bit above all else. I'm here for the lulz. I think that if any team wins, it needs to not be the Leafs or the Canucks.
Please,
I don't care if it's the Ottawa fucking Senators at this point. I don't care.
We obviously have our preference.
We want the Oilers to win. Let's not be stupid. Yeah. But like, if it's the Jets or the Sens. Or I don't want the Canadians to win. They have enough. Okay, save some for somebody else. Okay, like you've got enough cups. Chill out. Stop trying so hard.
Yep.
I don't care that it's been 30 years. Stop trying.
I don't think they're going to. Just so we're aware.
But like, but the Leafs and the Canucks, their fan base will be so insufferable.
Yep.
For the rest of my existence on this earth that I cannot fucking stand it.
Yep.
So I need it not to be them.
2026.
Also, has this person ever watched hockey and seen the Leafs?
I have no clue who made this list. 2026, they have the Kings. That one I can see. Maybe not next year. Not right now, unless they do some really major work next summer. But they're pretty solid. They've made playoffs consistently. We've just kicked their ass every time, but they've made playoffs.
This ain't a rivalry. They beat our ass every time. Like
2027, the Red Wings. Who the fuck are you?
I don't like the Red Wings. I don't like most of the teams.
You're a hater at heart.
The only one I can tolerate. I am a hater at my heart. I can tolerate the Wild because Flowers on it, and I like.
But he's retiring.
Yeah, but he's retiring.
Lauco though. So 2020,
I do like Lauco.
2028 is Chicago's team. And that one, if Connor Bedard gets his shit together,
it's weird because they have a decent
team.
They pulled a lot of. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
They kind of pulled like they've got Pat Maroon, bless up.
Yep.
I wish you were still Bruins, but like miss you on our teams.
He ain't dead.
Oilers
He's just,
Bruins.
He's just part of the Chicago.
He's not
team.
dead. He's just in Chicago. Like I don't know what they were thinking with the UFAs and trades this year. It was like almost like a cup push, but not. Like it was just let's get whatever we can and see what works. The Wild,
they're not bad.
They to me should be swapped with the Kings. I think that based on how they're playing right now, like in this month of October, they could make playoffs.
But looking at this list, it's even looking at this list, I know that wild cards exist, but there are some that are not fan favorites. There are some that are like favorited to win. I know that the Oilers was up there, but again, we have been talking about this since before the season started, that they blew up their team. It's not the same team as last year. They're just starting to get their feet under them now. That does not mean that they won't go all the way necessarily, but it takes time. It does. It's not the team that they were last year. The same thing is for the Panthers. However, the Panthers, they were like favorited last year to win.
Yeah. And the Panthers also have discipline.
Yeah.
I'm not even being funny. There are certain. Okay, so again, I don't know. I know enough about the Panthers. Their core is disciplined.
Yeah.
In a way that the Oilers are not.
Yeah. And that's very obvious. Just a fact. Yeah.
Yeah, there's rumors that a certain player does not take coaching at all. And I think that if one of Paul Maurice's players didn't take his coaching, he would bench them for 2 days, like 2 games. Yeah, like there's just Paul Maurice would not be fucking having it. You know what I mean? Like that's a coach you like listen to. He just seems to have a good command of respect.
Barky, don't touch that fucking cup.
Yeah, Barky, don't touch it. But I think he has a good. Yeah, like that was funny. That was really funny. Yeah. Like. I think he has a really good control of his locker room, and I think that a lot of teams are lacking that, even if they have really good players.
It's the ego.
It is, and just in general, like, because that's a big debate right now with so the Bruins and the Pens are fucking tanking.
Yeah.
Pens, we were a disaster last year. The Bruins were not a disaster last year.
I have no clue what's going on with the Bruins.
So that's the current thing, is that they're like, saying that should we get rid of Monty?
Yeah.
Like, should Montgomery go for the Bruins? Everybody's like saying Mike Sullivan's head on the chopping block. Like it's
just one of those things where there are obviously some teams that are more likely to get to that far in the Cup series, and I don't necessarily see all of the teams on this list doing that. Because when was the last time the Red Wings got into the playoffs?
Oh, it was way back.
So
when it was the, I mean, it's not like, hold on, not to the playoffs, but they last made the playoffs in 2016, and they,
but like it's just like I understand that wild cards
in
exist.
hockey years. That's a long fucking time. Like
that's 8 years ago.
Man, what did the Pens do that we just destroyed it? Like we won in what? It was 2016 to 2017, and then a bunch of teams never haven't made the playoffs since.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like the Maple Leafs is probably the only one on there that I can actually see. I know that 4 years is a significant time for changes to be made.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I mean, sometimes it's just vibes. Like I don't think 3 of these teams are getting there on vibes alone.
Yeah, I
think the Panthers are going to go all the way again this year. Not to win the Stanley Cup final, but I think they'll go really decently far. We talked a little bit about this.
That they're, again, it's the discipline. And I think that's what pushed them to the Cup this year.
Yeah.
Because there was times when the Oilers were outplaying them, but they have the discipline
and the consistency
to keep going.
Yep.
They are not a team that, in my limited experience watching them, gets emotional and fucking spirals.
Oh, well, couldn't be us.
Which the Oilers do. Don't forget, they've had like their fucking, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. My cousin's been like, and they forgot how to play hockey again. Like,
it's every team. It's like they just forget.
Every team does that, but like I think overall they are a very disciplined team, and that carries them farther. The refs refusing to call them for goaltender interference doesn't hurt, but I'm not gonna.
But it's fine.
Just wanted to throw that out there, and before anyone thinks that I'm getting on their high horse too much, because I really just saw that clip of Tkachuk just. And again, I like Tkachuk off the ice. I thought they just did what their series, the NHL Global Series, and they're in Finland. I loved the bits with him and Barkey. Yep. I loved seeing Barkey get to go, like, you know, introduce everybody and like the Finnish players on the team. I think that's so cool. It's really, really cute. However, if I was a goalie and Matthew Tkachuk was within anywhere near my blue paint, I would
beat his ass.
Yeah, I really would. If I was a defenseman, because we took the quiz.
Yeah.
We took a quiz, what would you be? And I was not trying to get defenseman because I actually like center.
Yeah.
And I was legitimately curious. I was answering in good faith of not trying to skew it because the results were, of course, that I would be a defenseman.
We both were. It wasn't even a given. Like, you and I, we've known that that's who we would be. And we would be the best. I'm just saying it right now. Putting this on record for the podcast. We would be the best defenseman in the league. I'm just saying it right now. You got two women who do not take any shit and also would be mean girl giggling, as I think you put it.
Yeah, we were like, because I think defensemen, a lot of it is dealing with like the psychological impact of like someone getting near your goalie, someone getting up in your face because you checked him hard. You could say anything to me and I would just be like, I would look at Champ and go, okay, sure. Like, what? Okay, Basti, whatever. Sure. Like, or I would say nothing, look at Champ, and then just
burst out laughing.
Yeah, like, we are not people you can ruffle.
We've been through
easily.
Enough. Like, we don't give a fuck. Nice try, though.
You would touch my goalie.
Your throat would be slit.
Would
just sorry.
Yeah, like, just. I think you said, Champ. I said, Champ, I'd be really good at drawing penalties, I think. And she said, say someone would trip you and you would get up and punch them. It's like, you're not wrong.
You would put all of the effort into making the calls that didn't get called.
Yes, I would be 100%, because my mom and I have talked about this, because I am emphatically, if the refs won't enforce, I will.
Yep.
Like that, and she goes, yeah, you would do that. Like, you would somewhat, like,
someone would trip one of your teammates and you would throw hands before they got up. Looking at you, St. Ivany.
Jack. Oh my god, if I was a Pens?
Yeah.
Like, okay, alternate reality where women are allowed to play in the NHL other than that one time where she was a goalie. Like, someone breathed wrong at Sid Crosby. They should have had me, as I am now, with no athletic skill whatsoever on the ice, with Sid Crosby for the past 20 years.
Rage.
Literally, anyone would have, like, looked wrong at him, and I would be like, let's go, let's fucking go. I'm just destroy.
She does that now. You do that now.
It's true. Champ is one of those people, though, for IRL, I'm not short. I'm just under 5'7". So with skates, I'm like 5'9", or whatever. Champ is, how tall are you?
I am 6 foot.
Yeah, exactly. So
I am 6 foot and built like a freaking brick wall. That was my nickname when I was playing basketball. People used to bounce off of me. Like, that's not even an exaggeration.
I'm picturing like those clips of like Zadorov or Char where someone like whacks into them and they fall.
Yeah,
like,
that's literally that was me in basketball. I was a center and they would come at me full speed and then they would fall. I just would stand there.
Yeah.
That's
just.
But
and then
but like I have such. Here's my thing: is you have the like viciousness to attack first. I'm not gonna be the one to attack first unless I am viscerally angry. Which,
we would make a good duo for that. And that, like,
I'm like, I'll be your backup. Do not get me wrong.
Yeah.
However, I'm not gonna be like, okay, we're gonna do this. You're like the defenseman, because I have the patience of a saint. Sorry, saint. Until I don't, and then it's a volcanic eruption. Like, you are going down, and I'm burning everyone with me.
Yeah, I'm more of like
You're a lightning strike. You're literally a lightning strike.
Yeah, just little quick bursts, and then I'm fine. And little quick. I think people don't not dislike that about me, but they get confused because they're like, "Aren't you mad?" I'm like, "It's a bit. Like I'm fine. Like it takes a lot to make me angry for longer than 2 minutes."
Please, actually, don't piss Saint off because it's the scariest look you will ever get. All right.
I've never seen Sham freeze so much in my life as when she pissed me off. Actually pissed me off
Vegas.
once. And then I lost it laughing because she was so.
I was like, actually,
scared.
never mind. I don't actually want to do this anymore. All right.
It's just so funny.
All right. Well, we are going to move on to sportsmanlike conduct. Saint, another.
We were supposed to be done 20 minutes ago.
Admittedly, another episode where we did not get any penalties called on us. Nobody fucking touched our goalie.
Yeah, we've been really good and disciplined.
You know, we say that next week's probably going to be a mess.
Yeah, you know what it was? Is because we had enough going on this week that we didn't look for problems. Yeah. Who's to say what next week will bring?
All right, so this week we're gonna spin the wheel of hockey names and see who we get. Let's see. I'm nervous again.
I am nervous.
Oh, please, 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 please. Okay, Saint. This week's team is the Seattle Kraken.
Oh, I like the Kraken.
I love the Kraken. The Kraken are actually on my tier list up closer to the top. My favorite thing about the Kraken right now is their power play coach. Yeah. So Jessica Campbell is their power play coach. When she got first announced, you and I were like super thrilled, and I'm so happy that with her under their league, the Kraken are really they're doing pretty well this season. So that's obviously great. I also just like the vibes that the Kraken bring.
I think they're fun. I like their mascot. Yep. I like their jerseys. I think they're just I like we've talked about vibe check. I like their vibes. Yeah, their vibes are fun.
They're not on the hater scale.
Yeah.
I'm also getting to see them in December. So that'll be fun. I get to see them play both the Oilers and the Canucks. So one night I will be rooting for the Kraken, and one night I will be rooting for the Oilers. I'm going to be with my co-writer, and she's going to have to deal with me, like, absolutely losing my shit. And
she's not into hockey.
She understands it.
Yeah, but she's not into it. Okay.
She thinks I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There's a couple players that I know on the Kraken that because we're definitely Montour, which devastated my cousin. She was like, hey, they took my Montour. Vince Dunn, he's cool. Like there's a lot of guys on their team that I like.
Yeah. Good vibe checks all around.
Yeah, good. The vibe check is that, or the sportsmanlike conduct is that you guys got good vibes. Yeah. I like a lot about you. I think I'm jealous that you're going to a game because I've heard their barn is a lot of fun. Yeah. So
I get to go to 2 games.
She gets to go to more hockey games.
I know. I'm sorry. It's not. That's sorry, but it's
not
fine.
Fair.
But yeah, so I really like the Kraken. And that's legitimate. It's not one of those things where it's like, I like you, but I don't really care about you. They're one of the teams that I actually root for. Oh my God, their goalie is so funny. I love him so much. When they beat the Flames, which good for them.
Good job.
When they beat the Flames and ended the Flames winning streak in overtime, and the goalie freaking fell flat on his face. I was like, and I'm endeared. You are now my new support goalie.
I also like that JT and Lexi, JT Brown.
Yeah.
Brown, they were Krakens. Yep. And, they had cool pride jerseys. There's just a lot. They really do. They really do pass the vibe check.
Good job, Seattle Kraken.
Yeah, good job, Seattle Kraken. Which when we're haters,
you will know.
Our core, you will you know this. So for us to be like, yeah, we like them. Take that as high praise.
Yes. All right. Well, that is going to wrap it up tonight, folks. We really appreciate you listening in through all of our rants and ramblings, especially tonight. We were rambling a lot. The Puck Witches podcast is released on Spotify and our YouTube channels, and you can join the Night Witches Discord via the link below to talk about the episodes directly, as well as enjoy our other channels, full of gaming, hobbies, and good vibes.
Sometimes, not tonight, but sometimes we record these episodes live on Twitch, so make sure you're following us there. And if you want to support us with a Twitch Prime on either or both of our channels, you can get access to cute emotes and extra channel points. If you enjoy this podcast, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and follow us on Twitter for little updates.
And lastly, do not forget to support the St. Astra Drysidle Jersey Fund. She's getting close. Check out Saint's Etsy, or again, subscribe on Twitch. We love you all and hope the hockey season is treating you well. Champ and Saint, signing off.
Yay, witchy!